Man, let's get to some Pistons talk, man. We can't let a show go by, man. Let's talk about the Pistons in the month of February. Pistons did lose last night to the Cavaliers in Isaiah Stewart's first game back, 113-109. However, they went 6-1 without him, and they won 6 of the last 8. And congratulations to Cade Cunningham for being named Eastern Conference Player of the Month in February. In that time, Cade averaged 25.4 points per game, 9.9 assists, and 6.5 rebounds. Detroit went 9-2 in the month of February. Also, congratulations to Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
Last week, specifically, February 23rd through March 1st, he was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. In that time period, he averaged 25.8 points per game, 13.8 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. Detroit went 3-1 in that time period. And a little bit of a late submission. Shout out to Sir Thompson. He was the Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Month for the month of January. In the month of January, he recorded a whopping 34 steals, averaging 2.4 steals per game. Had a career-high 6 steals in the January 30th game against the Golden State Warriors. So despite last night's loss, are the Pistons peaking at the right time? Or is there more you'd like to see in the regular season? Or at this point, are you just waiting on the postseason? What say the people's champ?
Man, honestly, at this point, I'm waiting on the postseason.
Okay.
I am. What I'm looking for now as I watch the Pistons, I'm strictly looking at it in terms of like 7-game series scenarios. I'm looking for who's going to be the 2 guys that can steal us a game. I'm not saying it's a thing, but it's kind of happened twice in the last 10 days where, Cade had a bad night at the office.
Yeah.
We can still say close, but those games just aren't winnable.
There's no scenario. I put that in the group text. I'm like, there's no scenario where Cade can score 10 points and we can win a game. I'm like that, I love the fight and the grit from the rest of the guys. I'm like, but Cade got to dump in 19, 20 though for us to really be where we need to be.
And when you look at championship level basketball, you think back like even like say like a few years ago, almost it's a decade ago now, when you think like the Warriors, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That 2016 finals, that series went 7 games, and like those first, I want to say 3 or 4 games, like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were both at around like 13, 14 points per game.
Yeah.
They were on the brink of sweeping, Cleveland before, of course.
Yep.
The 3-1 and
the
all that other stuff.
Well,
but what I'm saying is, championship level teams have, the necessary pieces to cover Cade on that night.
Sure.
And I still think the Pistons are the best team in the Eastern Conference, even despite the loss to Cleveland last night.
Yeah, I agree.
But when I think about like situational basketball and making the game ugly, and I do have concerns because not only was, with the, Cade scoring 10 points or having an off night, we can't win. I want to say, was it against Orlando? We were like 4 for 30 from 3.
Yeah.
That's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
And, and again, we look at a matchup with like a Boston where they're going to suck you into jacking up a lot of threes.
Yeah. They definitely are going to shoot a lot.
Yeah. Like with
threes.
Yeah. With just that style of play, it kind of baits you into it a little bit in spurts, so those are the kind of things that I look at in terms of my concerns. But I still think we're the best team in Eastern.
Yeah, you know what? Because we're so young and the journey is still very fresh, I think that there are still some lessons that we can get and learn about ourselves down the stretch of the regular season.
Yeah.
Whereas a team that's made a lot of deep runs, I think that they can kind of get bored in these situations. I think because we're so young, I'm still enjoying.
You nailed it.
this part of it, and I think they are too.
You nailed it.
Learning a lot about themselves. So, because we're young and we're just still experiencing this group together.
Right.
I am enjoying it, and I think that there are some things that they can learn about themselves.
Right.
And learn about, like you said, who's going to be that one guy that can step in and step up, and what do we do well? How do we not get sucked into somebody else's style of play?
Sustaining our tendencies.
Correct. Yes, doing what we do. Because we're number 2 in paint scoring.
Yeah.
I believe we're number 1 in transition scoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we have to do all of the things that we do. We got to play defense. We got to score in transition.
Rebound, lights out as a team.
Yep. And we got to get in the paint, and we got to defend, and we got to block a lot of shots. And, so I think that, as a young team, I agree with you. I think we're the best team in the conference. And I think that, again, because it's not one game elimination, because it is a situation where we're going to be in a 4 out of 7 scenario, I think we're going to be hard to beat 4 times out of 7 because we play great defense. We score a lot of buckets close to the basket. We get a lot of transition points. We play, every single possession hard.
Yes.
And what that does is, teams are going to score. But what happens is, I noticed with the Pistons is that there's a stretch of every game where the other team struggles.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be about a 7 or 8 minute stretch where we just lock the other team down.
And we just keep playing hard.
And we keep scoring. Yep. And that's why we can cover so many deficits.
I get you.
And that's why we've only lost a handful of games by double digits.
Yep.
Because even if the other team is playing great, at some point, we just lock down on defense. We lurch just all over the other team.
Yeah, because we apply so much pressure that the other team has to be crisp.
Yeah.
And they have to execute.
Yes, yeah. And if you don't, then we just get a lot of takeaway.
Yeah, I agree.
And pressure bust pipes, man.
I think really what I struggle with per se as a fan watching is I don't want to cheapen what they're doing right now, by saying something like they haven't been through enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's kind of it's a double-edged sword because they're that good.
Yep.
But 2, they are that young.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to play their way through things. They're going to have to experience some things for the first time.
No, listen, you've been watching basketball long enough. I'm with you. I struggle with that too, because every single basketball instinct tells us that you don't just go from getting knocked out the first round to winning the championship.
Right.
Every basketball instinct that we have tells us that you matriculate in the NBA. Get knocked out in the first round, then you get to the second round. You might get to the conference finals, then you get knocked out. Then you come back. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never like a worst to first type situation.
Right.
Our every basketball instinct tells you that when you watch, like no team ever just jumps right there. Like even the Golden State, before they start, they got knocked out by the Clippers.
Right, for sure. Even the Thunder, they had the best record in the league for a few seasons before they were actually able to bring it home.
They got knocked out by the Mavericks. They got beat by the Mavericks. So, you're right. You're like every instinct tells you that, like even the Celtics, before they won, they got knocked out by the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like, so every instinct tells you that there is a matriculation process, no matter how good the team looks during the regular season. But I do believe that we're going to be, because of the things that we do well, we're going to be hard to beat in a 7-game series. I'm not impossible, because anything can happen, but we're going to be hard to beat. And I think that the circumstances are good too. I think that we match up well with the teams that are in our conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think we match up with them very well. And most importantly, the one team that is seasoned in the conference, championship season, is not whole.
Right.
And that's the Celtics. The Celtics have that championship seasoning. If they were whole and rolling, that would be like you said, that would be the team that scared me. No Jason Tatum. I'm less concerned about them this year. So I think that the circumstances dictate that we in a good spot this season, which is why I do believe that we will get to the finals. You know, winning the championship is always hard. You got to beat a team 4 out of 7. Whoever we meet in the finals out of the West is going, it's going to be hard. I think that we can do it, but it'll be hard. But we'll take it one step at a time. But no, and then
the question I got
go
for
ahead, Neff.
Question I have is Thursday game in San Antonio the biggest game of the year stakes wise left?
Oh man, that's a good question. Oh, we play OKC one more time too, don't we?
Yes, but considering the situations, we have already beat OKC this year.
Yeah,
we haven't beaten San Antonio yet.
Yeah, I think the San Antonio game, I can go with that because I think this group, they'll take that game personal. I think they'll want to beat them.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's the OKC game because I think we're going to end up with a better record than San Antonio. And I want home court in the finals. And I think that we're going to end up with a similar record to OKC, and I'm going to want the tiebreaker with them. So I'm going to say that the OKC game, I want to have the season series on them because I think we could end up with the same record or like maybe the same win percentage as them, and us having the season series on them is going to be more important.
I don't know if the Oklahoma City Thunder are going back to the finals.
They could though, but but I'm just saying. I think that's why I'm gonna say that's probably gonna be that's the most important game we got left because of that. You might be right, but even if we lose to San Antonio, I feel like we're going to have a better record than San Antonio at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's not going to matter that we lost the season series 0-2. If we have a tie season series with OKC and they end up, and we end up in the scenario where we need the season series in order to have home court in the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if that ends up mattering, I think that'll be the
Wemby called Cade soft. They going to want to beat that ass.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know that.
That's just how I feel.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Wemby called Cade.
So, okay.
I think they're going to take that game personally.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, okay. That just heightened the stakes. Yeah, that changed it then. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that's going to be a personal game, though. So, yeah, that's Friday, right? That's day
tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
And it's tomorrow. And our guys are petty like that. And I'm here for it. Like, I ain't mad at it.
I love the petty.
I love a little extra shoving and stuff that be going on after the whistle. I'm here for all of it.
Yeah, I am too.
So, yeah, Wemby, you strap up.
Yeah, that's a good one.